ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 267 of the Drunk Dashers podcast. I'm your host, as always, I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Oh, the fire lives on. I'm doing pretty good, Tyler. After the long work week, started things off a little bit like a slow, then towards the end of the week and stuff, I started to accelerate a bit in terms of my work. And now I'm actually feeling kind of good because I did pick up a new game, have not played it yet, but everything else seems to be going pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Kind of the same as you. It was nice having a 3-day weekend last weekend, but you usually end up paying for it on holiday weekends where you got to do the same amount of work. You just got one less day to do it.
Yep.
So kind of a long work week, but doing okay. It's Friday night. We're recording a little early this week. I have a birthday party to go to tomorrow, so won't be able to record tomorrow. So I got to hang out with Justin last Sunday night, which was nice.
Yeah.
That was the really nice thing about having Monday off, was getting to see Juzzy. And we went and saw Solo, the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good. I don't really know where I want to place it yet. It's one of those ones I feel like I need to watch it again because I enjoyed it, but I had a lot of questions coming out of it, so I feel like I need to do some research on it and watch it again before I really kind of know where to place it. Because now we have 10 Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I don't know where to place it in that top 10 list. But anyways, after we went and watched it, we decided we're gonna go back to this place, have a few beers, play some games, bullshit, the usual. And we went to the grocery store right in the same area as the movie theater. And we went and saw it a little late. It got over about 9:30ish or so. The movie did, and we didn't realize it, but we had the Hy-Vees here in the Midwest, the grocery store, and the one by where we live is 24/7. Well, this one it closes at 10. So we get over there at 9:45ish. I start looking for beer. We're trying to pick out some beer to drink, and it's like 9:57 at this point. And the lady comes up to us and asks one of the employees there. She's like, "Do you guys need anything? Are you guys almost done?" And I'm like, "We're like, yeah, we're just looking for one more thing, and we'll be done." She's like, "Okay, excuse me. Well, we're about to close." We're like, "Okay, well, we'll be done in a minute." And so we grab our last beer. Like 30 seconds later, we start walking up to the register in the liquor section, and one of the other guys that works in there, who was at the register the entire time we were there, walks by us. And we're like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Didn't want to think much of it. Set the beer on the counter. And we just kind of sit there and BS for 30, 40 seconds. And we're just like, oh, maybe they went and grab something, or I'll be right back. And we turn around and look, and the beer section is like off in the side area of the grocery store. And we turn around and look just in time for them to be putting the gate up and locking it, and locking us inside of said beer section. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So we're like, huh? Like, do they know we're in here? Like, when the guy walked right past us. Like, you gotta know we're in here. And I'm like, oh, maybe they just kind of closed it partially. It's not completely closed. So we walk around, or maybe they didn't lock it. We look over there.
Yeah.
It's locked.
Oh my God.
And there's customers like over in the register, the cash register in line, and we're just like, help, and like waving and like with our beers in our hand. And nobody, either they didn't see us or they just were just kind of ignoring us.
They just didn't know what the fuck to
do,
probably.
Or like, is there another way out of here? Or like, what are we? And we look, and there's a way to go in and out of, in and outside of the store from the liquor section. So we get there. Well, the doors are locked. They're like the automatic doors, which are locked shut, and I'm pretty sure it's armed. I don't know if the silent alarm is armed or not.
Yeah.
So we have to unlock it, go outside with the beers still in our hand, and then go walk outside and walk all the way to the main entrance and walk back inside and pay for our beers. Yeah, so it was, I don't know, it was just really stupid. And then we ended up the lady that was checking us out was the manager at there. She's like the second shift manager. And Justin's like, hey, just let you know, we were just buying beer, and the guy walked past us and locked the door with us in there. It's like, so we had to unlock your doors to get out to come around to buy your beer. So your doors are locked right now. And the lady was like, the lady's just like, was it this person? And like, well, we don't know. There was a lady and a guy, and she's like, okay. And she just paged him over, and we just kind of left. I'm just like, okay. So she was not pleased. There was no apology, nothing like that. She was just, she was not very. You could tell she was not. I think it was just the store was closing, and there was like 50 people, not okay, like 20 people still there, and a lot of people were like doing like the real grocery shopping. Like two or three people had carts full of food and stuff.
Wow.
And there's only two lanes open, so it took like 15-20 minutes to get out of there. So I don't think they were pleased. On top of that, everybody wanted to go home, and plus didn't hear that news. I don't know, just a weird, funny story.
Just locked inside the beer.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Justin, I'm like, 10 years ago, this would have been my dream. I would have just like sat down and started like popping beers open and started drinking. But it's like now it's just like, man, I just want to like go and like drink some beer and go home and and go to sleep. So yeah, it was pretty funny. Only that can only happen when Justin and I are hanging out. No other way that happened. So yeah, that was kind of the real funny experience of my week.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I guess we should we do the news first?
Well, yeah, because we got a lot of news to go over.
Yeah. Not really a lot of topics, but the topics we do have are pretty big topics. I guess we'll jump into probably the biggest one first. So the thing we've been talking about for months now, Gables, basically a year now, but things have been leaking here and there the last few months. Pokemon Switch. Actually, 5 Pokemon Switch games. So, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday night? I think it happened. I think it was like 8, 9 o'clock my time on Wednesday night.
It was like about 6 o'clock my time. I'm watching YouTube, and I get this text freaking on Facebook Messenger from Tyler. It's like, Gables, you gotta look at this right now. It's Pokemon Switch. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm freaking out, man.
Just randomly, they just unveil everything.
Yeah, so they did a surprise. Like it started like coming out like the day before. Like there was rumors of like that any time now there's gonna be like some details. Pokemon Nintendo were gonna release details about it. And then a few hours before that, there was like Nintendo Life and a few other like IGN, a couple other gaming sites were like, there's people that work for them saying we're in Japan right now, and it's like, okay, so it's happening like tonight.
Yeah.
So it just all kind of came together in a short amount of time, in a couple hour span. Then like Pokemon Company on Twitter announced that there was going to be a event tonight showing off some new games, and then it was like, hey, in 20 minutes here it is. So it was just like I was like refreshing Twitter like a madman, want to know what the hell is going on. So came out, they announced, not like I said, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 games for the Switch. The first 2 were ones that we've pretty much, most of the details, actually a lot of the rumors came out to be true. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu were officially unveiled, which the rumors came out about that a little over a month ago, I want to say. They're coming out November 16th. They say it's a core RPG Pokemon game. It's coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
So a lot of the details didn't come out during the show, but there was a trailer shown, and they talked about a little bit, but some details came out afterwards. So I'm going to run through some of the details. We're going to talk about this first, then we'll kind of jump into the other ones as we go.
Sure.
So first up, motion controls are required for catching Pokemon, either in the form of gyroscope and handheld, the Joy-Con when docked, or via the Pokeball Plus. There are no battling wild Pokemon, so you got to catch Pokemon just like you would in Pokemon Go. And you use the right Joy-Con for it. You flick it to throw the Pokeball. There's items you can use as well, and there's Pokeball Plus that you can buy separately. That's like a thing we'll get into that a little bit later, but that's something else you can use for the game. This all came from an article too, so I'm just I took off some key notes from the article from, I believe it was from Eurogamer. So I just want to give them a shout out for that. You'll still be searching for through long grass for Pokemon. They won't instantly spring upon you. Instead, appearing physically on the map screen. From there, you can either interact and catch or leave them be. So instead of you just walking along a path in like a random battle, you'll actually see all the Pokemon in the world, the wild Pokemon. Yeah. And you'll see a Pidgey, you'll see a Zubat, you'll see a Geodude wherever you're at, and you can run from them or you can go up and attack them if you want, whatever you want to do. You don't get to choose between 3 Pokemon this time. There's no starter Pokemon like that. It's either depending on whether you buy the Let's Go Pikachu or the Let's Go Eevee. That's your starter Pokemon. So whatever version you buy, that's the Pokemon you get. Other Pokemon can follow you outside the ball, so you can either Pikachu or Eevee can follow you around. They can run behind you, sit on your shoulder, sit on your head, and also you can ride Pokemon. Like in the video, they showed like you riding a Onix, Lapras, Charizard was in there. I think that was all of them. The HMs are still gone, which is nice. That's one of the big things they got rid of, I think, in Sun and Moon. All the 151 Pokemon are in this game, and you can actually transfer them from your Pokemon Go like smartphone or whatever you use to play Pokemon Go on. You can transfer them via Bluetooth to the Let's Go games, but you cannot transfer them back. And I guess there's a way where like you can't like you just don't transfer them and you have them. You have to like there's like an area you have to go to and you have to go catch them. But there'll be an area you go to. I don't know. I guess there's ways to like you can't just like super powerful. If you have a really high powered Pidgeotto or something like that, like I don't know, say a level 52 Pidgeotto, you can't just go get him at the beginning of the game. Like you gotta work your way up to it. So not a lot of details on that. I'm sure we'll hear more as time comes on, but that's kind of the information we got. A friend can jump in at any point by using a second controller to help you be in that battle. They can act as a support trainer when it comes to catching Pokemon, and you can battle locally against Pokemon against people too. And I guess there's supposed to be some online capability too. I'm assuming like trading and maybe battling. I don't know. That's all they said. There is online service for this game. You can have multiple saves, but only one per Switch account. So say you and your sibling share a Switch. If you both have your own account on there, each one of you can have one save, but you can't have so Gables, you couldn't have 2 saves on your account. So if you wanted to have a second save account, you just gotta make a second account and you got one. Or you can, if you want 3, you can make a third, which is cool. It's a nice workaround for that. There will be version exclusive Pokemon. There's no breeding in this game. They're not sure how they're gonna. No one's really sure how leveling up Pokemon is gonna work yet, because since there's no battling wild Pokemon. It's either catch them or don't mess with them, basically. And this is supposed to be they said a reimagining Pokemon Yellow.
Okay.
Yeah. So just with what we have here, I mean, I think I pretty much, I don't know, might be a few details I missed, but this is what I was basically able to find from the articles and just let's people talk about it. But coming out of this, Gables, where are you at on this game? Are you excited? Are you kind of disappointed? Where are you at on this?
Well, I'm interested really in seeing like how different these games are, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I am sort of excited because this is something out of the norm in terms of Pokemon games go. It's basically more Pokemon Go friendly, transferring Pokemon to and from Pokemon Go to Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. The thing about not battling, like earning experience through battle means and stuff, it's kind of like dumb. But I'm not too sure how they were going to go about it for like earning experience points or whatnot. I wonder if you actually have to walk or something in order to like earn experience or anything. But that's just a random like question that I would have. But anyway, I am excited though. I mean, it's something radically different than what we're used to. And you know what? After going through the whole Pokemon games like I did, man, it definitely seems refreshing.
So I mentioned this a few times before, where there was no possible way for like this could be everything I wanted it to be. This, I mean, it was Kanto region, the thing I wanted it to be. It's a reimagining of Pokemon Yellow, the thing I wanted it to be. It's my favorite Pokemon game, and it's on the Switch. It's the console I wanted it to be on, and it didn't live up to the hype. and I knew it wouldn't. It's my own fault. I have myself up too much, but it's hard not to do for something you've been waiting over 20 years for. Um, but this feels like not the core RPG Pokemon game on the console that I've always wanted. This feels like a fully fleshed out Pokemon Go game on the console. The way I look, when I heard about it or started reading the news, this feels like, oh, Pokemon Go is huge, guys. Like 2016, let's make a 3DS or the new Switch console Pacific game that's just like Pokemon Go. Like over 800 million downloads. Like it's a phenomenon. Let's make that and just make it big. This will be huge for the new console, and that's what it feels like we got here. But it's, I mean, the Pokemon Go is still hugely successful. It's still got a really strong fan base for it, but it's not that phenomenon like it was in summer 2016. Like it was a cool couple months there, but it kind of just it was just a fad, really. And I know there's a lot of people that still out there enjoy it. There's people that still play it every day, but I don't know. I just if like I'm still gonna play this. I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels like someone summed it up really well. They said Pokemon was always been like baby's first RPG. And I know there's like super like crazy like details we can get into with like the training and the EV, and like with the like the eggs and the EV stuff. And then what's Jesus, there was that thing Jake always did where if your Pokemon died, you had to get rid of them. The challenge
stuff.
Yeah, like there's cool crazy things you can go super crazy in depth with this game, but for someone like me, this was my first RPG, and it really is in a lot of ways. It's like your first RPG, and it can be very simple for people to play, and this feels like, like this is baby's first RPG. This is like what was it? I can't pronounce it. I forgot how to say it. Oh, it's baby's first Pokemon game. So it's like the easy version of the easy RPG game. And I don't know. There's just a lot of things. It's still like the game I wanted forever. It's like I put on the talking ship when they announced it. I'm like, if only my 6-year-old me was still alive to this day, like I would be freaking out about this still. But I'm still excited. Like it's just there's like the when I started reading all the details about it, it's like. So the motion control stuff is required. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to flick my wrist to catch a Pokemon. Like this isn't like a really cool, unique thing you can do. This is this isn't Wii Sports stuff. This isn't like game changing. This is like, oh, okay, I'm flicking a wrist now to catch a Pokemon. This feels unnecessary. This doesn't feel like something I should have to do. But I'm still gonna do it. The getting rid of the like experience point stuff for battling wild Pokemon, like that was part of the grinding process, was going out fighting those Pokemon. So if they get rid of the level, they get rid of the experience point stuff for if you're battling actual trainers, then like what's the point of battling other than the gym battles and if the Elite Four's still around? Who knows if the gym battles are still around? It could be a completely different thing. It's a reimagining of Yellow, so it could be anything. But I know that they do have trainer battles. But what if it's like the new, the last couple Mario, Paper Mario games where they got rid of the experience points for battling and fighting. It's like, well, that's the whole point. Like that's the point of RPGs, is the battling and the leveling up, and you just got rid of it. Now it's just It's a walking simulator at this point, with some minor puzzles in between. So I don't know. I'm super negative, and I shouldn't be, because I'm still probably going to really enjoy this game. We don't know all the details. Maybe I'm going a little too deep into it. I don't know. As far as focusing on the negative stuff, maybe they'll come out at E3 and blow our minds with all kinds of other cool stuff. But I don't know. I'm like I said, still excited, but not as excited as I was a week ago at this time. All right, so other than that, like I said, there was 5 Switch games announced, Pokemon Switch games announced. The other one, to a much smaller scale, Pokemon Quest. It's actually out now. on the Switch. It's coming to the like iOS and Android at the end of, I think this is the end of June. It's a free to start game. I played it for like 30 minutes. It's like, I don't know how the fuck to explain this game. So basically, you pick you pick between like 5 starters. There's the original 151 are in this. You go to an island like Thumb something Island. I'm not sure, and you pick between Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Pikachu, Eevee, and then like they battle, and they'll go like attack they'll go find like the wild Pokemon, and you just like you have and you can attack them and you fight them, but you have cooldowns, and you have 2 attacks at a time. So I picked Charmander, and he has Scratch and he has a Fire Spin, and it's actually kind of cool, like where it's like kind of like not open world, but it's like an open area, and so like if you're having multiple enemies at a time to fight, you do like Fire Spin. He shoots out like a circle of flames around him. It damages anything around him. And scratches more, attacks the Pokemon in front of him. And you get to fight like a handful in an area. You basically go through like a wave of Pokemon, and you beat that area. And then as you go, then like you get like different things. You cook with them, and you go off and do missions, and it cools. And like after a mission or 2, it's done cooking, and it attracts more Pokemon. That's how you essentially catch Pokemon. So like I cook some food. And I got a Rattata, and what the fuck? Oh, Pidgey. Yeah. And they level up as you fight. And you could spend real money to buy tickets, which you'll cook faster. So then you don't have to wait, or you don't have to wait X amount of time, or you don't have to do X amount of missions to get your food cook your food faster, which attracts Pokemon faster. Like after I got those 2, I cooked again. When I did a couple missions, I got a Krabby, and you unlock like you can equip items to them that make them more powerful, give them more make their cooldowns faster. I just finished the first world, and it's just kind of like gets a little more and more intense, and at the end of every single one you fight like basically the boss. It's like one of them you fought a Raticate, and then there's like a Pidgeot and a Meowth. So I don't really know what you gotta do to like what kind of prevents you from playing it. I guess there's like we have to like at a certain point you have to stop and you have to wait to play again. I didn't get to that point. They give you like enough free tickets. I played for a half an hour. I think you can play 45 minutes to an hour before you get to that point when you first start it. But they did say something about like a cooldown timer. It's like 22 hours. You gotta wait to play again at a certain point.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's out now if you want to play it and check it out. I think the game would be better or more. I'd be a little more hooked on it if it was on the phone. Just because I always have my phone with me, it's always online. This game you have to always be online, so this isn't like a good portable game for the Switch unless you're in a Wi-Fi area or you're constantly in like a Wi-Fi area. So that's out now. Have you got a chance to check this out?
I haven't checked it out yet, though. I mean, maybe I'll get like to it or something during the weekend, but. It looks kind of interesting concept. I've seen some of the little microtransaction things for their whole free-to-play stuff.
Yeah. There's like dungeons you can buy to explore different areas.
Yep.
So then there's like you can buy items to cook other things too. So instead of earning them as you play, so that's fine. I don't know. I don't know if I might check it out a couple more times because I did like the other 2. Like they had the Pokemon Picross and the Pokemon Shuffle games. I got really hooked in those a couple years ago, so those were fun games on the 3DS. Next up, Pokemon Plus, Pokeball Plus. Sorry, is it's a little Pokeball that kind of when you play the Let's Go games, kind of acts as the Joy-Con. So like the little circle in the middle of the Pokeball is like the analog stick. It looks like there's a couple buttons on the top in the red area, and it has the it sounds like it has the HD Rumble in it. They said they want to make it feel like so you can transfer Pokemon in there. You could take them out in the wild, like in the real world with you, and carry them around. They said things like certain special things can happen when you take your Pokemon with you on the go. So Not really sure what that is, but they said they want to, like when you carry it around, they want to make it feel like you actually have a Pokemon in there, which is kind of cool. But it's supposed to be, I think it says $50. You can pre-order it now. I think there's going to be a bundle though for $100 where you get the game and the Pokeball, so you save $10. But I don't know. I mean, is this something? I'm assuming we're both going to get one of the Let's Go games. Is this something that would make you? Or is this something you think you'll pick up when it comes out?
Probably not, only because it's kind of almost the same price as an actual Joy-Con itself.
Yeah.
I see some of the prices they're charging, like in yen and stuff, doing the little U.S. conversion. That's roughly like about $45 or so. You know, that's probably gonna be like a $50 like accessory right there in itself.
So I think
at that point, I'm not too sure I would actually pick it up.
I think you can. I'm gonna check in real quick. I'm pretty sure you can pre-order it already.
Yeah, probably.
Pokeball. I don't see it yet, but it was. Maybe it's not confirmed $50. Maybe that's what people are saying because like the conversion from yen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of the same with you on that. Where it's just like, I'm not like unless I find it like a really good bundle deal or something where it's like if it was $80 with the game, if it was like a bundle, maybe okay, $20, whatever. Yeah, but $50 where you can just buy another game or a whole nother Joy-Con for that price, and it only works for one game. Apparently, you can use it for Pokemon Go, but it's only got a 3-hour battery life, so I don't really know how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not a I don't know, not a big thing. But at the very end of the press conference, they announced there's going to be 2 new our core RPG games, Pokemon games, coming to the Switch in the second half of 2019. So you got to assume that's probably October, November, December of 2019, in the style of X and Y and Sun and Moon for the Switch. So, is this? Do you think this is Gen 8?
Yes, more than likely it's going to be Gen 8. They usually have a pattern when it comes to these releases. Even from X and Y to like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and like even to a certain extent like Sun and Moon, they usually have a few years of a gap or some between them. So this is more than likely going to be Gen 8, considering that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were last year. I know they got the whole like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee thing this year, but it's not out of the realm of possibility where they're probably doing an entirely different generation just releasing very soon. Because we are still seeing rumors and like bits of tidbits for those games.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I gotta assume so. And I think that's going to be like the real core RPG game. Mm-hmm. Where they said Let's Go games are going to be the core ones, but they're not really. I feel like that's probably going to be the real Pokemon games that we wanted forever. But this is kind of a holdover, which I don't know. I've said many times that I don't care. Just give me the goddamn game. So I really can't complain too much, I guess, when for months I've been on this podcast essentially pleading Pokemon Nintendo to just give me a fucking game. So this is what we got, which could be worse. So overall, I mean, I'm still excited, but I came away not... This isn't the worst thing possible. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It could be far worse. It could, best would be Pokemon Snap 2. Worst would be Pokemon Unraveled. So
Pokemon Unraveled.
Yarny is the 783rd Pokemon. They're actually the talk is they said that if you combine your Pokemon Go with your Pokemon Let's Go game, you'll get a gift in the Pokemon Go game on your phone. And it's a never before seen Pokemon. So a lot of people are saying this might be the first Gen 8 Pokemon revealed in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that wouldn't be like too bad.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I doubt that'll be like at launch. I bet that's something we'll see in like the fall or not the fall, but the spring or something like that. But kind of a cool thing to kind of add some value to transferring, because I mean once you transfer the games from Pokemon Go to Let's Go games, you can't get them back. So I guess it gives you a reason to do it. Next up, getting out of the Nintendo Pokemon world, this kind of came out like a couple hours before they started teasing it, and then it was revealed like a few hours after the Pokemon thing. Unfortunately, not a lot of things can bury this IP. Quite like other than maybe like Pokemon. There's only a few things that can do that. But
Yeah.
Bethesda, they started up a Twitch stream, and it was just it was actually at the office, and it was just a bobblehead of the Pip-Boy or whatever.
Yeah.
And in front of a TV screen that says "Please stand by." And I was like, okay, so they're gonna announce something about Fallout here soon. And at one point, there was like 103,000 people watching this. And every now and again, somebody would come in and like wave or like would like bop the bobblehead's head, and it would just start it start bobbling around.
Oh my god!
So this went on for like I guess it went on for like 24 hours or something, like 12 hours, 24 hours.
Oh my
and,
god!
Yeah, so people, thousands, tens of thousands of people were watching this thing all the time, and finally they showed a video. There's a teaser trailer for what is being called Fallout 76. A lot of people were saying, oh, maybe it's a Fallout 4 being ported to the Switch. Maybe it's Fallout 3 being, it's being remastered for the new consoles. Maybe it's Fallout New Vegas because it's been 10 years since Fallout 3 or blah, blah, blah. So a lot of things went around. I don't think anybody saw this coming. Fallout 76. So for people who don't know, I guess Fallout 76 has actually been talked about quite a bit in the Fallout universe. It's mentioned in Fallout 3, 4, and New Vegas. So it was just a teaser trailer. There wasn't really a lot showing a lot of the things we've seen before in Fallout games. But Jason Schreier from Kotaku came out with, he started talking about, like, he's like, he didn't really spoil much, but he said, this isn't what people think it is. You'll never guess what this is. So after it was revealed, finally he released a pretty long article about all the details about Fallout 76 and what it is. So basically, what Fallout 76 it was like, people were making trying to with the Fallout 4 engine, trying to make it like an online kind of live-in game, and it kind of got turned into this. So not really any details on how it's going to work, but this is going to be an online survival RPG. So here it is. Originally prototyped as a multiplayer version of Fallout 4 with a goal of envisioning what an online Fallout game might look like. Fallout 76 has evolved quite a bit over the past few years. So like I was saying earlier, so this was kind of like they were working on something, trying to figure out how it worked, and it's kind of turned into this. It'll have quests and a story like any other game from Bethesda. Will also feature base building like Fallout 4 had. The game is named after the series Fallout 76, which has been mentioned in both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 and New Vegas. Fallout 76 was meant to open just so. This is all in the lore. This is stuff that was revealed before this game was even announced. But Fallout 76 was meant to open just 20 years after the nuclear war, allowing for a far less civilized setting than previous games than 3 and 4. Because 3 and 4 take place a couple hundred years after the events of the nuclear war. And this one's going to take place just 20 years after the nuclear war, after just 20 years of being in the vaults. So this is basically like these were the first people to come out of the vaults and kind of, they made the cities, they made the settlements. So
right.
So yeah, like like I said, the other ones were 200 years after the war, after much of the population has had time to reconstruct human civilization. Vault 76 is located in Virginia. And then I looked up the timeline because I was kind of curious. Like, I never really thought about the timeline before for Fallout, but this is going to be the earliest setting ever in the Fallout universe. Most of them. So this one is based off the trailer. There was the Pip-Boy. It showed the date. It was showing in there 2102. Because I believe the nuclear war started in like 2076 or something like that. And then in the Fallout lore, the bombs fell. 2077 is when the bombs fell. And the first Fallout game, Fallout 1 was set in 2161, Fallout 2 in 2241, Fallout 3 in 2277, New Vegas 2281, and Fallout 4 2287. So this is over 180 years before the events of everything else, 160 years for everything else. So it's a pretty cool game. So we've discussed Fallout games quite a bit on here. We both I beat 3. I played a bunch of New Vegas and a bunch of Fallout 4. And I know you played a bunch of them too. Didn't you platinum Fallout 3?
No, I did not platinum Fallout 3.
I thought you said you played. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I don't know why I thought that, but I don't know. I mean, this. Are you interested in jumping back in Fallout?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of in a certain degree. I mean, I've played plenty of Bethesda stuff over the past couple of years, and going back to like a Fallout setting, like this, yeah, I'm sort of interested in that. I'm kind of interested in seeing how the gameplay on everything else is structured. So I'm just waiting and seeing what they show at E3.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't. It's got to take something for me, like some really intriguing, really cool stuff, to kind of
Yeah.
get me back into Fallout. Where I didn't care about the base building, and I know a lot of people loved it. So if you loved it, good for you. I did. I gave zero shits about it. That was like my least favorite thing about that game, other than the loading times. Was that, and then also just I got into that loop. Just kind of, I put like 40 hours in this game before I finally just kind of put it down, and I got super close to finishing it, but I just can't do it anymore. Well, you got like you carried as much stuff as you could. You went back to one of your bases. You already sold what you could, and then you went back to your base and you dropped off all the extra shit you had that was valuable, and then you went back on and you just kind of just went to this loop, and then you fought enemies and leveled up and did little minor stories here and there as you went along. But yeah, after a while, I got burnt out on it, and I was just like, I'm not really having fun with this. I'm just kind of doing this just to do it. So, and, I love Fallout 3. I beat Fallout 3. I bought all the DLC for it.
Yeah.
I think I beat all of them, but the last one, which was like the Brothers of the Steel, was actually like took place after the events of the game. I played a bunch of Fallout New Vegas. I liked that one quite a bit. Just kind of, I think something else came out, and I just never went back to it. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm happy for the people that are excited for this. This sounds really cool. I think it'd be kind of intriguing to see what it looks like before like everything, because it's still in shambles in like in the late 2200s, and this
Yeah.
takes place in 2102. So what does it look like? I'm kind of curious to see what that Fallout universe looks like. Just 25 years after the events of after the nuclear war, like before like things were civilized. So yeah, I don't know. I think that part is intriguing to me, but as far as the gameplay parts go, I'm not that interested. But I think we'll probably see that this year, more than likely. Moving on to something else, another leak that kind of came out. So once again, Jason Schreier from Kotaku, after this game was leaked, he kind of came out and had a full article on it. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, and the rumor from Assassin's Creed Odyssey is you have a Cap and he is alive, and you throw him and you can jump off of him. You can become anything you want to be. If you want to be a Templar, you're more than welcome to do so. I am kidding. You can't do that. So, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was like, it was, I want to say Thursday morning. Like someone released a picture from a French gaming site, and they had like a keychain, and it said Assassin's Creed Odyssey on it, and it was like a keychain. And at the end of it, it had like a Spartan helmet. So everybody's like, oh, okay, this is the new Assassin's Creed game. It's going to be in Greece, and then other people started like showing it off. So basically, after that happened, a bunch of people started showing off they had so basically the keychain went to a bunch of gaming stores across the world. They arrived at a bunch of stores Thursday morning, and so I don't know if there must not have been an NDA or anything like that. So people just started taking pictures of them and posting them online. So before the game was supposed to be revealed, it sounds like it was supposed to be revealed at E3, but then that I think Thursday night, Thursday night, Ubisoft actually put on their Twitter account, "See you at E3," and it said hashtag Assassin's Creed Unity, and it was a Spartan kicking a Persian off of a cliff, which is a famous scene from 300. Yeah. Like I said, it's gonna be an open world game. I'm sorry, I'm going through my notes here. Now the keychain was shown off in the teaser. You see one character forcibly kicking off another off a cliff, and it just said "See you at E3" at the end of the GIF. Rumors about the next Assassin's Creed game have been circulating for months now. Apparently, I didn't hear any until now, but it sounds like now that it's been revealed, people are just the window's open. Everybody's just throwing out everything now. But the one we've been hearing since January from our own sources, this is from Jason Schreier Kotaku, is that the game is indeed set in Greece, and that it'll be even more of a drastic departure from the series than Origins, which Origins was the game that came out last year in Egypt. Bringing in dialogue options for the series for the first time, you'll be able to play as either a male or female protagonist. Sources confirmed the Odyssey will be out during Ubisoft's 2019 fiscal year, which ends in March 2019. So it sounds like this game will be coming out this fall, which is kind of surprising because they said that they were gonna they said that they were gonna put a lot more focus on Origins, and they weren't in a hurry to make the next Assassin's Creed or release the next Assassin's Creed game. Sure enough, that's not necessarily the thing. Where they're still supporting Origins, but now apparently this is coming out this year. So I know Gables, you kind of fell out of the Assassin's Creed franchise for a long time ago. But the Greece do anything for you at this point?
Like Greece can be handled pretty much properly if dealt in specific ways, but I gotta see some gameplay. If they say it's a radical departure from Assassin's Creed norms, then they gotta show me and convince me otherwise. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be thinking it's just another Ubisoft game.
Yeah. So this one is they said they've been Origins was them going more towards the Witcher style, and it sounds like this is going even more so towards the Witcher style. With the combat, the combat was basically just ripped out of Witcher in Origins, and now they're going that way with the dialogue tree and trying to do bigger missions. It sounds like. I talked about last year when Origins came out. It came out and people were loving it. I had no interest in the game. I should say no. I was intrigued because they took a year off. I'm like, okay, what can they do to bring me back? And then people came out, and it was the first one I hadn't bought at launch in forever. And it came out, people were loving it, saying it's one of the best games of the year. And I picked it up, I played it. It's I can't tell if I'm just burnt out on Assassin's Creed still, or if I just don't like the changes they made in Assassin's Creed. And I still don't know. But the Greece thing doesn't really do anything for me. It just kind of feels okay, well, we're just kind of doing. It's like when they did felt like 20 games in a row in Italy and Europe and stuff like that. It's it just all looks the same and feels the same. And I feel like Greece is going to be more of the same as Origins. And I didn't really care for Origins. So, I don't know. For someone like me that's loved the franchise for almost a decade, about a decade when Origins came out, I have no real interest in this game, and it's a bummer once again. But I mean, maybe they can change their mind. I think it's gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna do the wait and see approach and see. Maybe it comes out and people love it. I don't know. But yeah, it's wait and see and trying to get caught up in the hype this time because I gotta fight the urge to play that game if people come out and they love it, which I think people will because a lot of people liked it. Yeah. A lot of people like the Ubisoft style. And I don't, unless it's Mario plus Rabbids, I don't really care for the Ubisoft style anymore. Or Watch Dogs. I'm actually a little disappointed because I was hoping for Watch Dogs 3 would be coming out this year. I was hoping they would start that. And that was a rumor a couple years ago was when they took the year off for Assassin's Creed. We're well, now Watch Dogs 2 is taking its place in 2016. 2017 is going to be Assassin's Creed Origins. 2018 is going to be Watch Dogs 3. That was a rumor a few years ago. And
yep.
And maybe that's not the case anymore, which sucks because Watch Dogs 2 was fucking awesome. But we'll move on. We have one other topic. We'll fly through it really fast. It's not really anything. It's just something I really like to do. It's the NPDs for April.
Okay.
So, real quick, top 20. Number 1, God of War, no surprise there. Number 2, Far Cry 5. Number 3, MLB The Show 18. Number 4, Nintendo Labo Variety Kit. Number 5, this one confuses me, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, because Donkey Kong didn't come out until May 4th, but this is the April NPDs, so I don't understand how that works. Mario, I don't know if they count pre-orders, but they don't count digital sales, so I don't know how that works. But anyways, number 6, Mario Kart 8. Number 7, big drop, GTA 5. They're on the way down, man. They dropped all the way to number 7. Number 8, Call of Duty World War II. Number 9, Super Mario Odyssey. Number 10, NBA 2K18. Number 11, PUBG for Xbox One. Number 12, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Still hanging in there. Number 13, Breath of the Wild. Number 14, Monster Hunter World. 15, Rainbow Six Siege. That's a 3-year-old game, still hanging strong. Number 16, A Way Out. Not bad for a small indie game that came in the second month. 17, Yakuza 6. 18, Sea of Thieves. Big drop there. 19, big drop as well. Kirby Stars Ally. And number 20, FIFA 18. So it's great to hear. God of War is. They said this April was the most profitable month ever for as far as revenue goes in the history of MPDs, and they've been doing it since like 1995.
Wow.
Like across the board in accessories, console sales, and video game sales. They said the God of War PS4 Pro Edition was like the highest selling console of the month. God of War is the fastest selling PlayStation 4 exclusive. It's already sold like 5 million copies or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird month where the Nintendo Labo number 4. Like I didn't.
That's pretty surprising.
Yeah, that's impressive. I'm surprised to see that there. I still don't understand how the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is in there when the game came out in May. But I don't know. The rest of it's kind of whatever. I'm surprised Sea of Thieves took a big nosedive after I think it was like 2 or 3 in March and dropped all the way to 18th in April.
Yeah. And then there's the omission and stuff from the one game that we knew would be off the NPDs and stuff pretty soon.
What was that?
That was Battlefront 2.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did not even catch that. That's the first time it wasn't even on the top 20. That's huge. I mean, like Battlefield 1 was on that freaking top 20 list for a long time.
Exactly.
And 6 months on the market, it's already out of the top 20.
And another one that's probably been off the list for like months or something like that, Destiny 2 as well. You know, it's like both.
Yeah, you're right.
Major multiplayer games that had a bunch of profitable stuff towards the beginning, but because of the random dealings that both Activision and EA have done to those games, yeah, it's kind of nice to see that people are voting with their wallets and stuff and not wanting to play games that they know exploit a lot of like the stuff, you know, just shady
loot
business
boxes
dealing in general.
Yeah,
loot boxes, this and that. So that's interesting to actually see those omissions from the list. From
yeah,
the NPD things for April.
That's big, especially because in April they brought back like the reformed loot box system in Battlefront 2.
Yes, and then there was a release of a big old DLC thing too for Destiny 2.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, I mean that's big. I did not even think of that. Like I was one of those things where you're like looking at all like I'm looking at the big drops for like Sea of Thieves, Kirby Star Allies. Those are like top 5 games last month and barely make the top 20. And yeah, that's probably the biggest story out of that. I think outside of like God of War being number 1, Far Cry 5 number 2. That's no big surprise there really. Probably 2 of the biggest games come out this year. But yeah, what's not there is the story of the April NPDs. But the Labo Variety Kit number 4.
The Variety Kit's still one of the easier ones, not the big old robot thing. I mean, the robot thing, people just say, "Oh, fuck it, I'm not dealing with this shit." They didn't buy it as much. But the Variety Kit, the little things where you can just build like little custom things for your Joy-Cons and this and that and stuff, that was surprising that was that big of a seller, honestly.
I mean, you look at it, God of War, Far Cry 5, MLB The Show 18, Labo Variety Kit, Tropical Freeze, Mario Kart 8, 5 of the top 6 games in this are exclusives.
Yep.
3 of them Nintendo, 2 of them PlayStation, then you got Far Cry 5 in there. So.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy to see that. It was funny. I was talking to Justin. I was asking him about the Labo thing, and he's played it. Plays it here and there, and checking out some of the other things you can do with it. But like the robot kit, he hasn't. He said he hasn't even taken it out of the box yet. And it's been 5-6 weeks. So, understandably, it's from what I understand, it's a big project. It's 4 to 6 hours to put together, as they say. But yeah, I mean, it's more expensive. It's $10 more though than the Variety Kit. But I guess the Variety Kit is it's a variety. You know, there's more things you can do. The robot thing, there's one thing you can do with it. So very telling. I'm curious to see how those things land next month. I'm intrigued to see if that kind of, because it kind of seemed like it came and went. Like the first few days, that first weekend it was out, there's some buzz around it, but it also came out during God of War, so it kind of quickly got buried. And you haven't really heard anything about it since. You see videos here every now and again, like they have the Game of Thrones. The guy who made the Game of Thrones theme song actually did the Game of Thrones theme song on the Labo piano, which is really cool. There's cool things to see with it, but I feel like that stuff kind of went away very quickly. So yeah, that was the MPDs for April. I always find those things interesting to look at, but yeah, Gables with the catching it with the Battlefront 2 and Destiny 2 off the list. But who knows? Maybe Destiny. I'm actually curious if Destiny 2 will pop back up on the list for May.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see too.
With the DLC coming out a few weeks, about a month ago, actually at this point. So, but that kind of came and went without any buzz either. So I heard that was pretty disappointing, which sucks because we both had the season pass for it, and
I know, right?
Haven't even played any of the DLC content. So maybe it'll be one of those things. Maybe we'll have to do this summer. We'll have to like get together and maybe play like we did before Destiny 2 came out. We went like the summer before.
I think both of us were like in the Temple of Osiris thing anyway. So it's like
well, I think we're fairly close. You're a little higher than me in light, so. Power or whatever the hell it's called now. So
I just stopped right after I finished like the main campaign. Plus, I just did like maybe a mission or two of the Temple of Osiris, and then it's like, okay, I pretty much had my fill, and that was like January of this year.
Yeah, I think I played a bunch of it like when it first came out, and then I went back into it in December and did some of that stuff too. But let's move on to what we've been playing. I'm gonna go because mine will be fairly quick. Okay. I have not got a chance. I played a little bit more of Detroit, but I mean, like another hour. Like I said at the beginning of the show, the downside of having a day off at the beginning of the week is you have to do the same amount of work in the rest of the week. So, gaming has been a premium for me this week. All the gaming I've got to do really this week has been today.
Pretty pretty close to your day off, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I worked a normal day today, so which was nice. But I played it for. I keep popping into my mic here. Damn it! Sorry about that, guys.
Need that pop filter.
I've got a pop filter on there, but I still hear the popping in my headset. Drive me nuts. But this came out. The servers went live just a little over an hour before we started recording. But Mario Tennis. What the fuck is it called? Mario
Tennis Aces.
Thank you. I don't know why I just blanked on that. But the demo went live on that. We talked about last week where they released the demo. You can download it like a week and a half before it went live.
Yeah.
It went live 8 p.m. my time. We hopped on Skype a little after 9. So I played it. Start with 4 characters. You have Mario, Yoshi, Peach, and Bowser. Each of them have their own. Like Mario's all around. Peach is more technique. Yoshi's speed. Bowser's power. And you can actually unlock more characters as you play. So basically how it works is you can do offline mode and you earn points playing offline. You can play against a computer. I played a couple of matches against the computer and just trying out some of the different characters. There's a tutorial at the beginning which I really recommend people play because I pretty much just skipped it. I just kind of kept tapping the button to get through it and then skipped it as soon as I was able to. And then it went online and quickly got my ass whooped. I'm like, how the fuck are this? I was getting mad. I'm like, how the fuck do these guys keep doing that? And then I went back and I played the tutorial and it helped a lot. But so how it works is there's like you can actually unlock things if you get to X amount of points in the real game before it comes out. When it comes out, you have like outfits and stuff like that when you start the game up. But you get points by playing the game. Like you win. You beat like the computer to get 10 points, but then they have online tournaments. I think there's 64-man tournaments, but it's kind of cool the way it works out where you don't have to play them all in a row. It's not like there's 64 of you playing live. Like you just you get the round 1, you play somebody in round 1, and then you start round 2. You find somebody else that did a random round 1 tournament and won, and you play them in round 2, and it kind of gets that till you get to the end. And if you win online tournaments and you get an opportunity to play like the real like there's supposed to be like a real tournament eventually, and you can if you win you have a chance at getting into the real tournament and winning actual prizes and stuff like that.
Wow.
So I played a couple games online. The first game I played online, I swear to God, this was a child. One, because I was super happy because I destroyed them. So that's why I assume it was a child, because that's the only time I know. Like, destroying children in Nintendo games is what I do. So if there was, like, I'm the Michael Jordan of destroying children in Nintendo games. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't have a lot of things in life I'm proud of, but that's probably it actually. That's probably the one. But destroyed them, no problem. I wasn't even doing any of like the special things. I was just basically playing tennis. And then I got to the next person, same thing. Like I was just kind of running through them, but like as you go, you build up this charge attack, like these charge attacks you can do, and they kind of like they'll hit it and they'll be a little harder, they'll be a little faster, a little more difficult to kind of hit back at them. And then there's like if you fill up the bar completely, you do like the special attack. You hit like the left like L1 or whatever they want to call it, and it does like the special attack, and it's like basically impossible to hit back. Like you can do it, but you risk breaking your racket doing it.
Yeah. So
I was like beating this guy, and you basically got to beat him. It's like 2 times, like it's basically best 2 out of 3. And I beat him the first time, no problem, and I got to the next game, a little more difficult, but he never actually beat me once in like a pure like rally of like serving back and forth. He did the special attack twice on me, and it broke my racket, and it's an automatic KO, which I was pissed because I was beating this guy easily. The only thing he had on me was he would just try to continue as long he could keep the game going as long as he can to build up his charge attack. And that was his one move, which I don't know. It's a Nintendo thing they do where they just try to make it like the rubber banding like Mario Kart kind of thing, where they give you like if you're all the way in the back, we can make it so you can get up, you can fuck the guys in the front or get to the middle, no problem. So that pissed me off. I was like, how the fuck are they doing all these special tennis shots and these special attacks? And I went back to the tutorial, learned all about how to do them and the best way to do it. And I went back into a new tournament, and I more the same. The first round beat the guy, really no problem. Second round went through, beat the guy, a little more difficult, but I beat him. Because it's like it was 15, 30, 40, and then you get match point. And I beat that person 2-1. The first one I swept the guy, and then we got to the third round and went back and forth for a while. At one point we had like a rally is like one serve point, and we got to like 40 shots back and forth before someone finally won. It was really super competitive. Like we were just like we weren't really using any special attacks, or if somebody would use a special attack, if you have your special attack built up, then they can do it back and they can smack it back at you. Yeah. So it's kind of a cool like thing where like I was learning about the strategy of it, because I was, as soon as I got my bar filled up, special attack, bam, get that quick easy point. Because I forgot to mention the first round I actually KO'd the guy.
Yeah.
Like I broke his racket and KO'd him. I'm like, okay, cool, that's kind of cool. Mainly because it didn't happen to me that time, but in this one, like it was just like I was totally open my mind up to how like the different ways of playing this, and like how to like you got to paint the corners, you got to like it's like you don't always need to build you can use your stamina, you don't have to like wait for the stamina bar to fill up completely, you can use it for partial attacks and at that. But as far as like a pure tennis game goes, it's actually a really good tennis game. But if you want to add some of the cool like little side things into it, still really fun. He ended up beating me. I lost that one 2-1. But it was super competitive. It was like probably a 10-12 minute game, and the rest of them were 5-6 minutes. Wow. So it's a lot of fun. You're like, as you win, you get points, and I got to 100 points. I think you get like 20 points if you win a match, and then you get 1 point for every time you win a point. If you win a serve. So I got to like 100 and something now, and I unlocked Waluigi to play in the demo. And then when you get to X amount of points, you unlock like an outfit for Mario in the real game. So I think eventually you can unlock most of the characters in the game. I'm not sure how the point system works for the rest of it. But so far, I mean, I only played it for like 45 minutes or so, but I really enjoyed the demo. Nintendo's been really good. like I've said before, with ARMS and Splatoon on selling me on games with these demos they do. It's only available for the weekend. I think the server goes down. It's like 2 a.m. Central Time, midnight Pacific Time. So you have all day Saturday and Sunday to play it if you guys want to check it out. It's on the Switch. And then the other game I played this week it just came out Thursday. It's $20. It's on the Switch and it's on PC only right now. It's called Just Shapes and Beats. This is one of the games that Nintendo showed off at their Indies event. And it's basically in the title. You're a square, like a literal square, and there's beats and like there's some really cool. You gotta be really into dubstep, I guess, to enjoy the music. But I'm not huge into dubstep, but the music's really good. And basically, what's going on? It's like Geometry Wars, where you just move around, but you don't shoot. You move around with the left analog stick, and you have a dash move. That's more like a teleport move, and you can teleport like a couple of like a little bit to the left or right, whatever direction you want to teleport to. And to the beat of the music, like there's other things come out at you. Like there can be circles, there can be can shoot like spray like little pellets at you, and you gotta dodge them. Like lines can pop up, and you gotta dash through them. It's a really 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 cool game. The first level in, I'm like, this game is badass, and it's fairly difficult. It's very fast paced. It gets really intense. At the end of every world, you fight a boss, and the boss fight is pretty difficult because you got to beat them all in like one fell swoop. And it's like each level is like only like a few minutes. Yeah. But there's like checkpoints in all the regular levels. But when you get to the boss fight, no checkpoints. You got to make the whole thing alive without dying. And you get, I think in the regular levels you get like 3 hits and you die. In the boss fight you get 5 hits and you die. And it took me a few tries to get through the boss fight, but it's a really really fun, fast paced. Like it brings me back to the first time I was playing like Geometry Wars 1 and 2. Like just that level of fun and excitement, fast paced, like intensity. Even the kind of the style of the graphics kind of remind me of Geometry Wars. Not just the shapes, but the graphic style. Not so much neon, but it's similar. But yeah, this game's it's an awesome game. It's a game. I mean, I'm gonna go back and play it. It just kind of gets it's like one of those few games that really gets that adrenaline flowing when you're playing it. And you're like, oh shit! Like at the end of every level, I'm just like, oh, like you got like I don't feel like I took a breath during every time I played a level. I don't think I took one breath until the level was over. So it's incredible. So I'm gonna play it some more. I don't know. It's a hard game to really describe or kind of sell because it's literally it's shapes.
Yeah.
And it's beats. Like it's a very simplistic game, but like once you get into it, it's fantastic. I wish there was a demo out there. There's some trailers out there. Check them out. The music's really good. They even like give you like the credit, like the artist credit for the game. And I think on the PC, if you buy it on there, you can actually like you can like upload your own music and stuff like that and make levels.
Oh, that's cool.
I could be wrong, but I think that's what you can do. But yeah, it's like I said, really 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 cool. Check that out if you have a Switch or you play games on your computer. That's why I've been playing Gables. What about you?
Well, let's see. To start things off, I actually finished Curse of the Moon for Bloodstained.
Nice.
Man, that game gets a little bit difficult towards the end, but it's like roughly the same length as a Castlevania game on the NES, where you go through about 8 stages, you unlock the characters after the first couple of stages, and then you can go through like the later rounds and things start to get progressively tougher. You face these bosses, which some are pretty creative, some are like really simple, but towards the end of the game I started encountering like a couple of these bosses like took quite a bit of time just to knock out and stuff. Like there's this boss that I was facing like a level before the final level, where this is basically a succubus, right? And she is like inside this bathtub, right? The bathtub is like in the foreground, kind of like in this gothic setting, and the bathtub's full of blood and stuff. So when she like raises like her sprite or something like that, she like goes out to attack you, like transforms pretty much. And basically it's kind of like a simplistic sort of like platforming type of thing, similar to like a Mega Man game, where you got to attack these umbrellas, these giant umbrellas, in order to create platforms so you can jump up and actually hit her. You know, so in that way, it was kind of interesting to see how that was the element to try to defeat the boss. But when I started to get to the final bosses and stuff, the first form of the final boss I got pretty easily because I combined the alchemist's fireball protective circle along with Jabel's bats, pretty much the whole 3 projectile things you can hit at once, toss out. The final boss though wasn't that bad really. I mean, I only died maybe once, twice, or something like that. At that point, I kind of switched the difficulty from veteran stuff to a little bit like the casual stuff because I really hate the knockback when you go through and play the game and all of a sudden you can't you can't really progress forward because if you jump over a chasm or any type of ledge and then all of a sudden get hit by say a random enemy or a projectile or whatever and just fall down pits. I mean that in and of itself is frustrating. That's more so. That's not a lack of skill. That's just basically a cheap little thing to try to pad things, in my personal opinion. But anyway, I went towards the final boss. I finally figured out how I was going to be able to beat it, and it took me a good solid, I would say, about 7 to 10 minutes just to beat this boss. It was an epic final battle, but at the same time, it's everything else was just a neat package of very colorful visuals, very tight gameplay. The elements of switching back and forth between characters felt great. At the same time, the game in and of itself, it's not as well done. Say it's a Castlevania 3. There are some complexities and stuff towards the end. Which holy shit, the last section when you're in the castle and all of a sudden it's you're navigating and all of a sudden you see these random tearing through the stage that looks like freaking a big old swarm of bees or something like that just goes and just destroys parts of the stage and then you literally are being chased by this thing earlier on. It's man, that is an awesome effect right there. That's an awesome way to do things. And they reoccur throughout this entire stage and it's holy shit. It literally gives you a good sense of tension. It's okay, am I going to go ahead and am I going to get killed by these things now? Am I going to go for it? Because if you're not fast enough, you can legitimately fall to your death or other things like that. There was a particular portion where I had to repeat over again towards the last level where the bees would take out the staircase stuff and I had nowhere else to go, so I had to legitimately just die with some of my characters. And since I had unlimited lives, I could just respawn back to where I was and just try it again. It took me having to use my lowest jumping character in order to progress up fast enough, if that makes a lot of sense. Because he has a short jump, I was able to precisely go up there at just the right angle so I could just beat it out barely. Okay, so other than Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, I also finished up Doom on Switch.
Go on.
So, when I left off at Doom, it was right before the whole Pokemon binge. Went back to it, decided to go with the route of investing a lot of the stat things inside health and also with the ammo stuff. Oh my gosh, I kept finding a lot of little hidden secrets that I didn't find the first time I played it. But man, I enjoyed it a lot more playing through halfway, the other half of Doom than I did originally playing on the PS4, only because not only was I familiar with it, but I started getting really fancy with some of the kills and stuff, and then upgrading specific weapons instead of distributing things off equally. I could literally say that the guns I used basically were 3 or 4. 3 or 4 of them. The Gauss shot, the super shotgun, the assault rifle to some extent, the heavy assault rifle. But also, I want to say I also discovered the BFG, you could actually switch between it with the X button. And I did not know you could actually switch between it. I thought it was a one-time thing in the PS4 version. And I purposely did not even use it the rest of the game because I thought it was just that one section you did use it. So I discovered, I'm oh, okay, this makes it easier.
Yeah.
But man, every time I get towards, it's when I got to that final section, I finished off what I was going to finish off. And then at that last scene, it's just, man, I just really want another Doom. Just seriously as soon as possible, because the way they left it off, the way you got all the demons and stuff like that that you basically killed in hell, and it's absorbs inside the freaking blade and stuff, and the freaking like the Samuel robot pretty much has it, and like try to forces you back into hell and all this other shit. Man, I really want another Doom game, and I hope it's adequately, appropriately named Doom 2. But
Doom 64.
Doom 64. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I gotta say, throughout my entire gameplay of Doom on the Switch, that port was adequate. I did download all the patches after the fact. I will say that right now. I did not play it when it first released. Game ran smooth. Gameplay was tight. There was some frame rate stuff that did drop a bit in handheld mode, but honestly, everything else was a quality experience, and I'm highly thinking about picking up another Bethesda game on Switch, either Skyrim or maybe Wolfenstein 2. Who knows?
Wolfenstein 2.
But whatever the case, it makes me feel confident about like certain third-party games going forward. That's not adequately named WWE 2K16, or 2K18, or whatever the hell it is. But
Doesn't matter. It's all the same.
I will tell you, there is one last game I did play on Switch. It's a new one that just released on Thursday. It's called West of Loathing.
Ooh, I heard about this game. Go on.
Now, picture jazz punk, as you will. It is as random as jazz punk is. I'll just say this right now. This, bar none, has to be one of the funniest games I've played in quite a long time.
You're fucking my nuts right now. Come on. Don't.
Tyler, even though this game is like $11, this game is so fucking funny because there are various weird-ass instances you can get yourself into. And at the same time, basically what you are is you are a girl in the Wild West on this farm, and you gotta go ahead and like go west pretty much to try to like make yourself of something, you know. But along the way you get into like various predicaments. You can do like various side quests and visit various towns. One of the funniest things that I've encountered so far is I go off to the first bar in the first town after leaving home. Just talk with random people, like, you know, just basically what you would do in a bar, you know, get a lot of the like side quests and stuff, because it's pretty much a basic sort of RPG. Like, there isn't like too much to it. The combat is basically just select attack or select this and stuff and just do this and that. It's not very complex, but the dialogue and the story is really hilarious. So, as I was saying, I'm in the bar. I go over to a spittoon. I go forth, and there's a dialogue thing that opens up and stuff. And it's like, it gives you an option. It's like, you want to leave it be, or do you want to, you know, go and look inside a spittoon? So I select that, you know, it's like, okay, let's see if I look inside of it, you know, thinking that there's not going to be too much to search inside of it. Then all of a sudden, I look down, and it's like, are you very sure you want to go ahead and check inside of it? So I'm like, yes. It's like you are literally now on your hands and knees staring inside this spittoon. It's like, do you want to reach inside of it? It's like, yes. It's like, are you really sure you want to reach inside this stupid spittoon? Because there's like tobacco juice, there's this and that. It's like, it's basically a layered on kind of comedic thing and stuff. And I ended up sticking my hand inside the spittoon. It doesn't show you doing it, obviously. But you get this little equipment thing that's like covered inside like the spittoon like juices, some of the tobacco spittle and all this other stuff. But you can equip it on and it gives you like a boost in attack and defense and all this shit. Because here's the thing. The look of this game is very simplistic. It's stick figures, pretty much. But it is freaking hilarious. You do... Basically, the bread and butter and the whole thing that makes this game gold is just the hilarious side quests you get to do. And it's very easy to go forth and miss a side quest. But I'm not going to spoil a lot of it because, for one, I know this is probably a game that could be right up your alley. And two, if I go into any more type of spoiler type things, it's going to ruin some bits for you. Like, I pretty much share the spittoon thing because the whole spittoon thing is hilarious in and of itself, but it reoccurs throughout the game. In different towns and different this and here and that. As of right now, I've played, I think, about an hour and a half to 2 hours of West of Loathing. And quite honestly, I could do a second playthrough of this damn thing because it is just hilarious. The companions to take with you, the freaking like things you decide, this and that. So honestly, if you had like, I would recommend anybody, if you didn't play it on Steam and you have a Switch, by all means, don't be scared off by the $11 price tag for this thing. Buy it. It's pretty goddamn hilarious.
Nice. Well, that's good to hear because, I mean, we got West of Loathing and Just Shapes and Beats coming out the same day. So the indie game support is still super strong with the Switch. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna look more about that game for it, and I might pick it up. I still gotta play Detroit and all that shit. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that game, you have my attention. That's for damn sure. Yeah, it's cool to hear. So before we get out of here, E3's next weekend.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I know, crazy, right? We're not really going like a predictions kind of thing, but I just want to mention that right now our plan is, it took us 5 years, but I think we finally figured out how to do, E3 with kind of how we did it last year, where we just did. I think we're going to try to do what we did last year with every night. We're going to come in, we're going to record and talk about all the press conferences that happened that day.
Yeah.
So next weekend we'll probably have we'll probably have like a regular show.
Regular show with probably like just the press conference that happened that day, which more likely is EA.
Yep, EA Saturday. I think Sunday is Microsoft.
Yep.
And Bethesda. I think maybe Square Enix is in there somewhere. I'm not quite sure. I think I know there's EA's on Saturday. I think there's 2 or 3 on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then there's like 2 or 3 on Monday, and then there's Nintendo on Tuesday. We're not going to do the PC show. I mean, that's just not us. But yeah, so we should be coming at you guys every night, pretty much Saturday through Tuesday, talking about E3, going through all the stuff, flying through all of it. I think that's our best. I think we realize that's the easiest, best route to get through without doing like 3-hour recording sessions.
Right.
At the end of the week, it's easier for us, and it's better. I think it's better content that way. And if you're only interested in a couple things, it's easier for you guys to find. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's anything different. I mean, I think it's the best way to go. We'll probably have more details on Saturday if anything changes or we're going to do anything different. We'll let you guys know. But right now, it's the plan. Still do it. Obviously, Gables and I are both super excited about E3.
Yeah.
It's the most wonderful time of the year to be a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's a lot of games coming out that you're excited about, you can't play, but still super exciting. Just like, May has been a crazy, exciting month for all the news we've gotten and rumors out there. So, I'm pumped to hear about it. And also, that's what I always take that week off now, the week of E3. So it's kind of a twofer for me, where I get I finally get a week off after a crazy 9-10 months, and also it's just nothing but video games and hanging out with Louie. So that's going to be perfect for me. But I do want to thank you guys for listening. If you like our show, we have a Facebook page and group, Drunk Dash Nerds, like Drunk Dash Nerds Podcast. Sorry, join and like us on there, on Twitter at Drunk Nerds Pod. Follow us on there at twitch.tv/Drunk Nerds Podcast. Follow us on there as well, and send us friend requests. We like friends. Friends are good. On YouTube, Drunk Nerds Podcast. Subscribe, please, and give us a big thumbs up whenever the shows come out. And then also on iTunes, we are Drunk Dash Nerds Podcast. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star review and leave us a nice little comment. We really appreciate if you guys do that. When you guys do things like that, it makes it easier for people to find us, which gives us more views and makes us a little more popular, which we like that. But other than that, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. I was your host, I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So until next week, everyone, get hyped for E3, play some games, and above all else, listen to a fine episode of the Drunk Dash Nerds Podcast.
Gables, we don't get hyped. We stay hyped. And
that's very true.
Yes. And one last thing, Gables.
Yeah.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, man.
Bye, guys.
See ya.